Okay, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just trying to do the right thing, and I'm trying to be honest now. We did decide to add a GLP-1 to my plan.
Imagine selling a weight loss course and you did not disclose that you were on a weight loss medication this whole time. Your whole brand is built on weight loss, healthy eating, but you also had an additional help that you did not disclose. That is what we are going to talk about today. Welcome back to my channel. I am Selena, and today we are talking about Janelle Rohner. As you can see, we are in a different atmosphere. I figured it's been kind of plain Jane lately. I typically film on my floor. I'm still deciding if my filming should be in my other room, which the background is kind of yellow, or not. Let's get into the talk and discussion of Janelle Rohner. If you are like me and you did not know who this was until it became a thing, because it's been disclosed recently that Janelle Rohner is on a GLP-1, then let's just start from the beginning. Janelle Rohner, she is someone who has had a TikTok platform for a few years now. She's a registered nurse, and she built her platform off of healthy eating with her weight loss journey. She would really show, oh, I'm having a bell pepper and I'm having cream cheese. And it was really the bell pepper thing that apparently was a big hit, which I kind of like. I mean, I like bell peppers. Anyway.
So I just finished at the gym and I am gonna eat. I have just a packet of tuna and a bell pepper. Start with that.
She would be showing what she eats in the car or on her work break, and she would just have a bell pepper, cream cheese, everything bagel seasoning, even a bell pepper and a tuna packet. Bell peppers were her thing, and she was really sharing her healthy eating journey.
For dinner, we have a burger wrapped in butter lettuce.
At some point, she was showing her keto journey. She was on the keto diet for like 6 weeks or something, and then she came to a point where she was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next.
Am I scared? Nah. I'm scared.
And then all of a sudden she had a macro counting course. Now this is actually $200. It's still on her website now. So apparently she's a certified macro coach, okay? I don't talk about this a lot now. I do have a really old video about it, but I'm a registered dietitian. My niche isn't really based off of that. I talk about nutrition all day, calculate tube feedings, I prescribe diets. I work inpatient and outpatient. Not to get on my high horse here, but I do feel like I have more of a credibility when it comes down to breaking down nutrition, at least from a clinical standpoint. You know what though? Honestly, the things that she is saying are available online for free. In her course, which is $200, it says, let me just go off of this so we can do it. And then we'll dive into why she is the talk of the town. In the first lesson in her macro course, you learn about proteins, fats, and carbs, okay? Lesson 2, food scale. Lesson 3, MyFitnessPal. Lesson 4, calculating macronutrients. Lesson 5, reverse dieting. If I could just give it to you quick and dirty, literally everything that she has is on Google. You can calculate your TDEE. You could go on MyFitnessPal now for free. Honestly, you do not need a food scale. I feel like that's a whole different ballpark. It's different for every single one, and I think that's the benefit from individualized medical nutrition therapy or working with your own dietitian. However, for someone who has their own weight loss journey, it's different for everyone. Just wanted to put that out there. Anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. Anyone can say they are a nutritionist, to be honest, because it's not a protected occupation. When it comes down to a nutritionist versus a registered dietitian now has to have a master's degree, over 1,200 hours of supervised practice, a bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics, and then pass that board certified exam. So there's just kind of a lot of things that go into it. If I knew that I'm not saying I want to scam people, but with the salary that I get versus people making millions off of TikTok saying they're certified macro coaches, I did not have to go to school and be in debt for the salary that I make. Honestly, I feel like I could make so much more money scamming people or just saying that I lost weight Now I'm gonna help you lose weight, and I'm just some Joe Schmo on the internet. So besides her macro class, right, she does have a platform where she has over 5 million followers on TikTok. I believe it's 5.2 during this time of filming. And she has a whole thing of healthy eating. She has a lot of what I eat in a day. She has fitness videos, her trying new foods. So basically, she is a nurse, but she's built her platform off of healthy eating. On one of her more recent TikToks, she is responding to a comment asking about her being on a weight loss medication. And what she basically says is, go to my YouTube to find out. Her sound to this video got removed, but you can see that it says, let's talk about it. I recorded a whole YouTube video because it is just way too long to talk about here. In her YouTube video, it's a 5-minute video, which is allowed on TikTok nowadays. So it's like, okay, are you trying to start up your YouTube or something? In her YouTube video, here are some key points.
I don't want to avoid it. Yes, over the last year, I have decided to make some new choices in my health. I started working with a doctor, and we did decide to add a GLP-1 to my plan. GLP-1s are not magic. They don't change your lifestyle overnight. It's just a tool to help. I still had to show up for my meals, track my macros, drink my water, go on walks, do my workouts, everything that I already teach and believe in. It just helped me regain a sense of control. It's something that I don't want to be ashamed of, and I don't think other women or men who are using this tool should feel ashamed either.
She basically says, yes, I am on a GLP-1. I started it after speaking with a therapist and speaking with my doctor. I did not expect weight loss to happen, but I lost an additional 15 pounds. It's kind of blurry about the timeline of when she started that GLP-1, and that has been the hype ever since. She has responded to a lot of the backlash, saying that she's not a victim. Here are snippets of that specific video.
Okay, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just trying to do the right thing, and I'm trying to be honest now. I could have kept this a secret. I could have gone on and on for years and not told, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that influencer. I haven't done a shred class since last year because I just didn't feel right about doing it. I'm just a person, a mom, a wife, a nurse, and I'm trying to balance my personal life and my social media life, and sometimes it just gets hard. And the internet is such a scary place to be open and vulnerable. I'm just trying to do the right thing. I don't know. I still wholeheartedly believe in tracking macros and the workouts that I do and my classes.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot more backlash than positive responses. I will dive into my opinion, but I do want to read some of the positive responses that I've been seeing under her videos. Someone says, disagree. She only has been on for a year and all those things still apply with or without the shot. I'm on it and found her content very helpful. I personally don't care if she did the shot. Guys, regardless, she worked out and changed her diet a long time ago. She did put in work. Who cares if she's on Ozempic now? Sometimes you need that extra help. I don't know where that voice came in. Okay, someone responds to that comment and says, no one cares about the shots. It's the deception and making money off people who are desperate to change their lives. It's gross. No one said absolutely anything about her using a GLP-1.
My opinion is also unpopular. But because I have a podcast where I interview experts about GLP-1 medication, obesity, weight loss, all the things, people want to know what I think. The podcast is called The Plus Sides. You can find it on YouTube. If you like this kind of content, I assume when people bought this course, they thought, oh, if I eat this way and do these things, I'm going to be in the same body as her. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If you did that, I don't know what to tell you. And if Janelle said, you would look like me, then okay, I'm with you on that. That was probably uncool. But if you believe that, it sounds like when she created this content, she had a lot of knowledge. She created a course and sold it and was making money based on like her experience and expertise or whatever. And like, what's wrong with that? Like, everybody should do that. Like, that's the American dream. And then eventually she took GLP-1 medication. But would you have come for her if she had taken Wellbutrin for her mental health and happened to lose a little bit more weight? Would you have required her to come and tell you about her medical issues and all the medicines that she was taking that might actually cause additional weight loss? No! And if you would, that's gross. You need to go outside and touch the grass. This whole cancel culture of trying to ruin people's lives because we don't like they do this, or that they're human or whatever is unbelievably ridiculous. If you don't want to follow them, you don't want to support them, fine, don't do that. But you don't need to blow up their lives. Like, I don't have a problem with an old-fashioned boycott, but come on, like, people's mental health matters. And what medicines they're taking or not taking is their business. If they want to share it, they can. And I think it's great when they do. But ultimately, all of this is just ridiculous. People miss the point about GLP-1 medications constantly. Why would someone take a medicine that is in the most scarcity, that is the most expensive, with all the bias around it, clearly still, if it was just about eating less? Clearly, this is something that she needed for whatever disorder she has going on within their body, which is none of your damn business unless she wants to share it.
I actually work with a lot of patients who are on Wellbutrin, and yes, decreased appetite is a side effect, but that side effect is not for everyone. It's not a universal side effect. And I've even asked patients who come to me for weight loss, and I say, hey, I see you're on Wellbutrin. And they say, well, I haven't lost any weight with that. So just because someone is on a medication and they are an influencer, they don't have to disclose every single thing. We are not asking Janelle, hey, if you have a multivitamin that you take every day, you have to tell us that. If you are taking losartan, you have to tell us that too. No, that is not directly affecting her weight. Janelle, if she was on Wellbutrin, she could have easily said, I do take a medication that has a side effect that decreases my appetite. But she could leave it at that as a disclosure. But if it's a disclosure and you are selling something, you do have to legally disclose things. I think this is something that's probably not fully regulated at this time when influencers and content creators are selling things on TikTok, but I disagree about that Wellbutrin statement. I am not sure of that podcast lady's credentials, but what she should do is have someone on her podcast saying that, or having a direct quote from a medical professional. This is exactly another example of someone with influence who may not have all of the credentials saying things. And this is no hate to her. I'm definitely going to check out her podcast. But when it comes down to it, there is a difference between patients' rights and legal disclosures, full disclosures. From what I've seen too, and personally, I don't think anyone has ill will towards Janelle. They're literally just asking her for her to be honest. And the fact that she's being honest now versus when she started the medication, whenever that was, that is questionable. Again, it's like having a skincare line for acne, but you are taking Accutane.
When you're buying a toothpaste and the models and spokespeople on TV are talking about the toothpaste, they probably got their teeth bleached. When you're buying makeup and someone says you're going to look younger, they've probably had chemical pills. When you've bought other weight loss medications or exercise programs, those people are doing other things as well. You take vitamins, they have healthy looking people sell the vitamins. This is something that happens every day in consumerism. Are you guys really shocked? And GLP-1s are a tool, they are not a cure. They went in addition to her plan. She did nothing wrong.
So I don't see many positive videos in response to Janelle, but I do see a lot of people posing good questions when they are calling Janelle out on it. And honestly, I don't feel like a lot of people are being negative. I think they're just saying, hey, be honest. So here are some things that people are saying in regards to calling her out.
This is the greatest lesson you will ever learn of being a content creator, an influencer, whatever you want to call it. Do not lie to your audience, especially when you have over 5 million followers. That shit was probably the most diabolical, biggest L I have ever seen from a content creator ever. Lying about being on a GLP-1 medication for almost a year while you are getting called out on every single one of your posts about it, while also selling a $200 fitness program, macro counting course, whatever it may be, is insane. Your job as a content creator is the number one thing is to get people to like you, know you, and trust you. People from here on out are never, ever, ever going to trust her ever again. Ever. Not going to click her links, not going to buy from her. They're not going to try. If she has a brand deal, they won't believe that she uses the actual product or whatever it is that she's promoting. And the saddest thing about this whole situation is that as someone who is on a GLP-1, and I'm on a break right now, but I am on a GLP-1, I will be getting back on it next month, is that she had this amazing opportunity. She built a huge following over the last 4 years. She had an incredible opportunity to be like, hey, you guys, I created this macro counting fitness program, whatever the hell it includes, and I'm also on a GLP-1. So if you also are on a GLP-1, or you want to be on a GLP-1, or you're looking for a way to lose the weight and keep it off, we're gonna be doing this program. and the GLP-1. And once we lose the weight using my program and the GLP-1, eventually you want to get off the medication, but now you have the tools and the resources to keep the weight off. That would have been the most brilliant marketing move ever. Because you have people that know you, like you, trust you, are on a journey with you, losing weight with you, you're improving their life, and then you get to help them get off of a medication that's very expensive, and they get to maintain that weight loss. And now they would run to you and come to you with anything, because I am sure that her program actually is pretty good. I've followed her back in like 2022. I don't follow her anymore. I stopped following her a long time ago, but that amount of trust and support would have taken her leaps and bounds, and she quite literally shot herself in the foot. So take this as a very big lesson. It is so important to be honest and transparent with your audience, however you want to show up on this app, whatever you want to do. But like, I'm going to Turkey next week for a mommy makeover. What if I just disappeared off of the face of social media and you're like, where you been? And I just came back and I had like new titties. You'd be like, girl, you look a little different. You look a little fuller up there. And I'm like, oh yeah, haha. Like, who cares? I would rather tell you. I would rather take you with me. I would rather share the experience with you. I would rather y'all be involved because I love you. My community means everything to me. That's why I also respond to like millions of comments as much as I humanly possibly can, because it matters. I take the time out to build a relationship with my community because it matters, because this is a long-term game and I want to see myself grow and evolve with my audience that has seen me from this chapter of my life to the next chapter of my life and the chapter after that. That takes transparency, that takes honesty, that takes balls, honestly. Like, it's not easy to air your dirty laundry. I get that. But at the same time, what is it all for then? Because everyone on this app is craving connection and craving realness. And when you cannot be any of those, what the fuck value do you offer to anybody? So take that as your lesson. Thank God she didn't quit her day job, because she's gonna need it.
But this is a little bit harder to grasp because she was monetizing on her macro counting book and lesson or whatever, and people were following her religiously, wondering why they're not losing the weight like she is. She looks incredible, and they're following the same diet. You know what I think? I think everyone should have the opportunity to take a supplement like the GLP-1s if they want to, if they want to better their health, if they want to lose some weight, if they want to get fit. And there should be no shame in that. That's no different than people getting their eyelashes done or hair extensions, Botox, plastic surgery, anything like that. But when you are hiding it and monetizing off of the scam, that's when you're in trouble. That would be like people commenting, asking me about my hair and me monetizing off of like a hair growth product when really I have extensions. It's just one of those things where like, you're not giving the whole truth and it's kind of dirty.
Hi, Dietitian here. I want to talk about why this is a massive problem and why you need to get your nutrition advice from people who are qualified to give it. Let's start with, just because someone's a nurse doesn't mean they're qualified to give you health and nutrition advice. We have dietitians for that. Hi, we go to school for a really long time, get master's degrees, go through specific training. If you're somebody who's looking to change your body or improve your health or lifestyle, go to a dietitian. Nurses are not qualified just because they work in healthcare. We all wear scrubs, but we are not the same. I think the biggest problem is that she was on a GLP and sold macro programs, which alludes and gives, it's dishonest by saying like, oh, you could look like me if you just, which it's dishonest, it's misleading, but at the same time, we have to look at the fact that a lot of people are willing to hand over money to just anyone on the internet based on how they look or based on what they promise, not based on their qualifications to give you said advice that you're paying for. GLP medications change how your body handles hunger, food intake, cravings, all these things. You still have to track macros. You still have to watch what you eat. You still have to change your lifestyle habits. You still have to exercise. You still have to do these things, but it drastically changes a lot of the things that a lot of people who struggle with weight are struggling with. So yes, again, this is misleading. I don't think Janelle did this on purpose. I don't think she did this in a malicious way per se, but I think maybe it went too far. And now here we are, and a lot of people are really upset. So that brings me back to the beginning. Popularity on the internet is not expertise. Just because someone works in healthcare, that is not expertise. The true experts in nutrition are dietitians. We go to school for a really long time. I have 2 master's degrees. I have a license, all the things. So this is my frustration with this situation. I can see why people are upset. Yes, you still have to do things with GLPs, but that's my take on it.
I have questions on exactly when she started that GLP-1. Everyone has a different experience on GLP-1s. There's so many out there right now, but something to think about is because it reduces your appetite so much, it is important for you to get your nutrients in. With that said, there's delayed gastric emptying, so that can also be a factor for the appetite. So what you eat is super important to make sure that you got the protein, fats, and fiber you needed for the day. Some people are commenting who are on a GLP-1 and they're saying, I don't even crave junk food anymore. I don't even crave this or that anymore. Like, this Ozempic has changed my life. When it comes to where it went wrong, I think Janelle was on this GLP-1. She didn't disclose. She could have used that as an opportunity to change the narrative and rebrand in a way. The moment that she started taking that medication, I think that's where it would have been helpful to disclose something. Because the fact that she's selling a $200 macro course, which you can find on the internet for free, or use your insurance and talk to a dietitian there. She was doing that, selling that course, but she was not disclosing that she has an additional tool for help. Someone says it's like selling a skincare line, but you're secretly on Accutane. Or it's like maybe wearing a wig, but you're selling hair growth formula. That is deceitful because you're omitting information. If you think about research articles now, they have to have disclosures. When you are on the phone with Fidelity, they say, hey, I legally cannot give you financial advice. So there are disclosures in so many ways, and that's where it gets kind of tricky when you are an influencer and you're selling information, or you build your brand off of something and you're disclosing needed information. Because there's a lot of people saying, I thought that your course was going to make me look like you in a way, and that's where it can be misleading. You know, we need to start saying batteries not included. We need to start saying objects may be closer than they appear. We have to make some sort of checks and balances when it comes to these things, when people are selling a product or a service. A lot of people are comparing Janelle Rohner to Brittany Dawn. Y'all remember Brittany Dawn? She was, oh my gosh, we just talked about a Brittany on here. Anyways,
$400,000. That is how much a Dallas influencer, Brittany Dawn, is being ordered to pay in a recent settlement of a lawsuit. Brittany Dawn, she was a fitness influencer and she was selling allegedly customized meal plans. Now, the problem with this is the meal plans were not actually customized. So she was marketing it as a customized meal plan, but there was actually a generic meal plan that all of her customers were getting. She was basically being charged with having deceptive practices, which is absolutely not okay. She was also charging a shipping fee for products that were being delivered virtually online, because these were actually digital products, and she was charging that extra fee. The online programs cost anywhere between like $92 to $300, and she was also claiming to be able to help people that have eating disorders, and you cannot do this unless you actually have the proper training and credentials to do that. And some people that took her programs said that their eating disorder actually got worse. This is a very, very, very important lesson for any online entrepreneurs that are selling digital products or coaching programs. You want to make sure that you are not promising or guaranteeing things that you cannot deliver on. You shouldn't be guaranteeing anything, but you should not be promising things that your customers are not getting. That can be seen as deceptive. We are in the era right now where a lot of influencers, a lot of online coaches and course creators are definitely under the microscope, especially in today's climate, because we just seen so many scams. You don't want to end up like Brittany Dawn, who now has to pay $400,000 over the course of like 3 years. They're setting up monthly payments for her to pay this off in 3 years, which I know is not fun. We have to be careful with how you're marketing.
The thing that differs with the Brittany Dawn situation versus Janelle Rohner is that Janelle Rohner wasn't promising individualized things, but she is still deceiving folks. And honestly, she's acting like nothing has happened. Janelle Rohner is still posting, like she is still posting business as usual. Brittany Dawn rebranded. I mean, she is more of like a religious, I think like a Christian influencer. I feel like Janelle Rohner is just trying to like act like nothing happened, keep posting. I mean, she did respond and say, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I'm just trying to do what's right, honestly. And I fully support mental health. However, I do have an issue when people use that as a crutch. I feel like she kind of just used the therapist and the doctor prescribing this medication as doing what's best for her, which I'm all for doing what's best for you, but when you get caught using a GLP-1 when you're trying to sell weight loss products and your whole brand is weight loss, that's an issue. She needed to disclose that. And so the fact that we are unsure of when she started taking it, but it's been a while, that's where people are mad, and I don't blame them. I mean, $200 when the internet is free, you could just go to the library, you could use your smartphone if you have one, you can ask to use someone's internet real quick, or if it's included in your insurance, if you can see your dietitian with Faye or Nourish, Teledoc. I think it's hard because a lot of people either use TikTok for their resources, they don't know, or it's just the influence of being an influencer. This is a learning experience for us to do more research on who is actually saying this. Like, what the heck is a certified macro coach? That's almost like me saying, I took biology in college, so does that mean I'm a biologist? Because people who are said nutritionists, they could either take like a basic nutrition class, or they can attend a free community class or something, learn about fruits and vegetables. They can call themselves a nutritionist. Honestly, people don't know. People don't know the difference. People don't have the necessary background. If you're a nurse, you are more well-versed in medications than nutrition. Let's keep it a buck. If you are a doctor, you literally either may get one nutrition course or none at all. I mean, there's a lot of doctors who do really well, but we don't know exactly their nutrition education. That's the thing with going to a dietitian. If you have chronic kidney disease, are you gonna go to a general practitioner? Are you gonna go to the nephrologist, the kidney doctor? That's the kind of thing that I want you to turn the wheels about. Thinking about what credentials people have. But honestly, I like the bell pepper thing. I mean, I didn't know this lady until just doing the research on who she is. But honestly, y'all, what she told you is to increase your protein and increase your fiber. That's really it. But anyways, I digress. I think a lot of people made some good points. Like, it's really not about the fact that she is taking the medication. You want to take a medication, is that's helpful for you? You already talked to your doctor and your care team about it. That's fine. I honestly support that. I see a lot of patients on Mounjaro and Ozempic. I totally get it. But the fact that she's selling a course and it's branded as she lost weight by counting her macronutrients, but she's also taking a weight loss medication, that's where it's wrong and deceitful. It is kind of dangerous when you have someone in the general eye and they are doing that. Sometimes it is kind of dangerous getting your health information from the internet. Like, again, you can get on MyFitnessPal, log your intake for free. You can find an energy expenditure calculator for free. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying for people who don't know, or they use social media a lot for their resources, because I'm not gonna lie, I like to use social media for people to summarize things for me, Google search, things like that. But someone just in general who doesn't necessarily know about health and they're getting health information on social media, I see why people are upset. I mean, if I spend $200 and I found out that this lady's on Ozempic and this is for weight loss, if I didn't know, I feel like I would be like, okay, so is the real reason Ozempic? Do I actually need to go to my doctor and talk to them about Ozempic? Is this macro counting even real? Do I need a food scale? Word on the street,
Allegedly,
is that someone was going to extort her and expose her for being on a weight loss medication, and that's why she said something and made that video. I really don't know. Honestly, Janelle, if I were you, I would use this as an opportunity to rebrand. But since you've already responded, I would kind of lay low for a little bit. Get with a PR person, and maybe at this point, you can start utilizing Ozempic in your current brand. Like 5 things I've learned while being on Ozempic, things I wish I would have told myself before getting on Ozempic, how has my appetite changed? You get the point.
Under Janelle's newest posts on TikTok, every single comment is talking about her weight loss medication as well. Like, she did respond to it, but this would be a good opportunity to rebrand and say, this is what I've learned from being on this medication, kind of utilizing it to navigate a different angle with her brand, because she is kind of going along now like nothing happened.
I would use this as a way to rebrand, but again, I don't think it's great that you deceived people, and I think it's wrong. There are talks about refunds. It is unclear at this time if people have gotten a refund for her $200 macro course, but I do think that it is right to do the refund, especially because what is a certified macro coach? She should use her nursing degree to actually talk about Ozempic and what it is doing in her body. Like, you are a nurse, you are more versed in explaining medications, administering medications. So I think she could use that to her advantage. I will just say, Janelle, I wish you well. What do you think about this situation? Do you think it was deceitful that she was on weight loss medication and it didn't tell anyone? Do you feel like it's fine? What are your thoughts with this? Do you feel like you should get a refund if you paid for that $200 macro course? There's a lot of thoughts about it. I guess it is what it is. If people are getting a refund, great. All right, y'all, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.